The central and provincial governments have decided to add a dozen of new universities when the existing ones themselves have been going through the challenges of dismal management and low enrollment. Experts have, however, insisted that the government should focus on improving educational standards instead of merely increasing the number of universities. Good morning, I'm Amit Mackerel, and these are the top stories this hour. Central and provincial governments prepare to establish a dozen new universities while the number of students in existing ones declines every year. Nepal importing electricity worth a staggering 23 billion rupees from India annually against the exports of 120 million rupees to the southern neighbor. India's former foreign minister and one of the BJP's most loved leaders, Sushma Swaraj, passes away at the age of 67. And former Manchester United star Wayne Rooney to return to English football and join Derby County after the ongoing Major League Soccer season. Let's begin with the national political updates. Foreign Minister Pradeep Kiwali has stated that Nepal government does not possess all the documents of the treaties signed in the country and at foreign countries. Speaking at the Delegated Management and Government Assurance Committee meeting at the National Assembly yesterday, Foreign Minister Kiwali informed that the Nepal government does not have all the historical documents of the Sugauli Treaty signed in 1816 and treaties signed in various historical periods before that within the country and abroad. Minister Kiwali also informed that the historical documents of the treaties signed by the then king of the Saha dynasty and treaties signed during the Rana period have not been found. He, however, said the agreements that have been signed in recent times are safe with the government. At the meeting, member of the Delegated Management and Government Assurance Committee, Dinanath Sharma, brought the attention of Education Minister Giriraj Mani Pokhrel by stating that the government had failed to securing the documents of the education sector. Committee member Sharma further said the Tribhuvan University itself has failed to provide mark sheets to its students. Chairman of the committee, Ram Narayan Bidari, informed that a meeting had been called to discuss on the treaties and agreements signed by the Nepalese side within the country and abroad. Bidari also said that on-site inspections at related government offices were being carried out and discussions were being held on the issue. At a time when the management of the existing universities has been a challenge, the central and provincial governments have decided to add a dozen new universities. The governments are seemingly rushing to establish universities despite many of the current universities operating with the minimum enrollments. The Lumini Buddhist University is one among many universities in Nepal that has an underwhelming number of students. The university, formed 14 years back, only has 200 students at the moment with 60 government teachers. The government has been providing the Lumini Buddhist University 115 million rupees each year, which means the government has been investing 350,000 rupees per student each year. However, the returns are far disappointing. According to the University Grant Commission, the government invests 250,000 rupees per student per year at the Nepal Sanskrit University, 180,000 rupees for Agricultural and Forest University, and 47,000 rupees for Tribhuvan University. The government expense seems higher as the number of students are far lesser than the university's capacity. The number of enrollments has been decreasing every year as well in all of the 11 universities.
अरु ठाउँमा कतिलाई पैसा पुग्दैन तपाईको यसमा चाहिँ अब कसरी जाने हो विश्वविद्यालय खोल्यो विद्यार्थी छैन त्यसरी पनि गरेर भन त्यसकारण मेरो विचारमा चाहिँ पहिल्यै सुरु विश्वविद्यालय खोल्नु भन्दा अगाडि नै धेरै नै तयारी हुनुपर्छ कति विश्वविद्यालयहरुमा चाहिँ साच्चै भन्यो भने तयारी बिना नै विश्वविद्यालयहरु खोलेको छ.
Despite the disappointing statistics, the central and provincial governments are doing their legworks to add new universities. The central government has registered a bill for Madan Bhandari University at the House of Representatives yesterday. Experts are of the view that the additional universities are not necessary given the existing ones are not doing well, and half of the students appearing in the secondary education examination have been deemed unfit for higher education. There is a call for the government to focus more on improving the quality of existing universities themselves instead of increasing the number of universities. As the production of electricity in the country has not met the demand, a huge amount of money is going out of the country in its import. In the last fiscal year, the Nepal Electricity Authority imported electricity from India amounting to around 23 billion rupees. It is most likely that Nepal will be spending a huge amount of money in importing electricity this year as well, as the demand of electricity is ever increasing, and it is still unclear when the hydropower projects under construction will be complete. Despite being rich in water resources, Nepal is producing only 11,003 megawatts of electricity. This production is nowhere near meeting the demand. Due to the decision to stop load shedding and production of electricity not meeting the demand, there is no alternative but to import electricity. In the last fiscal year, the Nepal Electricity Authority had imported electricity worth 22.89 billion rupees from India. The amount is 3.52 billion rupees, more in comparison to the previous year.
बढी उत्पादन गरेन निर्यात गर्ने हो। त्यसैले हामीले त्यो गर्न सकिरहेका छैनौँ। अब त्यो गर्न नसक्नुको दुई तीनटा कारण छ। एउटा हाम्रा आयोजनाहरू भनेको समयमा सकिएका छैनन्। तामाकोशी नै नेपाल सरकारको अब गौरवको राष्ट्रिय गौरवको आयोजना नै केही वर्ष ढिलो भइसकेको छ। निजी क्षेत्रले गरेका आयोजनाहरू पनि केही वर्ष केही समय ढिलो भएका देखिन्छन्। त्यसैले हामीले जुन आयोजना बनाउने निर्माण गर्ने वातावरणमै एकचोटि सोच्नुपर्छ किन हाम्रा आयोजनाहरू ढिला भइरहेका छन्।
Last year, Nepal had exported electricity to India worth only 120 million rupees. Nepal was able to export 150 megawatts to India during the rainy season as electricity production increases during the period due to the rise of water rivers. However, many hydropower projects which are dependent on the flow of river water produce less than half of its normal production during winter when the water level is low. A year has passed since the Ministry of Energy had declared a work plan to produce 15,000 megawatts of electricity in 10 years' time. During the 1 year period, neither have new hydropower projects been established, nor have the existing projects have been completed. The 456 megawatts capacity Upper Tamakosi hydropower project, which has exceeded its deadline, is still incomplete. This will certainly increase the trade deficit in electricity in the coming years. The government must bring forward hydropower projects like the 1200 megawatt Budi Gandaki and the 762 megawatt Tamor to increase the export of electricity and save the country from the trade deficit in electricity. Welcome back after the break. Nepal Oil Corporation has reduced the price of LPG gas by 25 rupees per cylinder. After the price adjustment, the cooking gas will now cost 1,375 rupees per cylinder. Likewise, the corporation has increased the price of petrol by 1 rupees per litre, while the prices of diesel and kerosene has been increased by 50 paisa per litre. The corporation has been adjusting the petroleum price in Nepalese market as per the price list sent by the Indian Oil Corporation. The price of gold has gone up by 3,000 rupees per tola in just 5 days in time in Nepalese market to hit an all-time high. The price of hallmark gold was 65,000 rupees per tola last Thursday in the Nepalese market. The price of gold kept increasing every day after that and has now reached a record high 68,000 rupees per tola, which is approximately 11.66 grams. The price of gold, which had increased by 1,500 rupees per tola on Monday, increased by 200 rupees yesterday. Experts have stated the price of gold has increased in the international market due to the ongoing trade war between the US and China. Gold businessmen have been complaining that the business have been going down due to the hike in the price of gold. Meanwhile, banks have stopped importing gold with a decrease in demand of the precious yellow metal. In the past week, gold businessmen purchased only 10 kilograms of gold from banks. In our public voice segment, we asked the residents of Rameshap district What should be done to improve the quality of education at community schools? Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public voice.
पहिले त अभिभावकहरूलाई नै सचेत बनाउनु पर्यो त्यसपछि सरकारी स्कुललाई नि प्राइभेट जस्तो गरी लाने ल्याउने सिस्टम र बसको व्यवस्था खाजाको व्यवस्था लगायत त्यहाँ हुने आधारभूत आवश्यकताहरू चाहिँ पूरा गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ
सबै सरकारवालाहरूले सामुदायिक विद्यालय अगाडि बढाउन लागि प्रतिबद्धता साथ अगाडि बढेको खण्डमा सामुदायिक विद्यालय झनै राम्रो हुन्छ र गुणस्तरीय हुन्छ
स्थानीय सरकारले बेला बेलामा के हुँदैछ के भइरहेको छ भनेर यसो यो अध्यापन सम्बन्धमा चाहिँ घचघचाइरहँदा बेला बेला आइरहँदाखेरि धेरै राम्रो हुने अवस्थाहरू छ
विद्यार्थीहरूलाई मोटिभेट गर्नलाई शिक्षकहरू पनि एकदम तालिमवाला ट्रेनिङवाला शिक्षकहरू चाहिन्छ
शिक्षकहरूलाई घरिघरि फेरेकै नगर्ने एउटै शिक्षकले निरन्तर स्कुलमा पढाइरह्यो भने चाहिँ राम्रो होला हैन किनकि विद्यार्थीलाई 2-3 महिनामा अर्को टिचरहरू आएर फेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ उनीहरूलाई पढाइमा घुलमिल गर्नलाई गाह्रो
पहुँचको आधारमा चाहिँ योजनाहरू कार्यक्रमहरू चाहिँ आफ्नै नेताको चाहिँ पोल्टोमा पार्ने र आफ्नै ठाउँ विशेषलाई मात्रै विकास गर्न खोजेको कारणले गर्दाखेरि जुन चाहिँ तपाईको भने जस्तो चाहिँ यो विद्यालय सुधार हुन सकेको छैन
अभिभावक शिक्षक भएर चाहिँ यो सुधार ल्याउन सकिन्छ
सम्पूर्ण सब्जेक्टहरुको टिचरहरू छ कि छैन र त्यहाँ व्यवस्थापन कसरी भएको छ सबै चीजको राम्रोसँग स्थानीय सरकारले मूल्याङ्कन गर्न जरुरी देखिन्छ
It's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And the question is, why are new universities being established when the existing ones are not being properly managed? And options are A, to admit cadres, be unable to handle political pressure, and C, practice of federalism in higher education. The voting is on. Type any WS, select your option A via CM32 to share your opinion with us. Now the sports update.
Sports news.
Former Manchester United star Wayne Rooney is to return to English football and join Championship side Derby County in January 2020 after the current Major League Soccer season. The 33-year-old, who currently plays for DC United, has signed an 18-month contract with the Rams in the player coach role. Rooney has decided to return to English football, ending a spectacular but short-lived spell that revitalized the organization and brought enduring memories to the local soccer scene. United and Derby County, a second-tier English club, announced that they have reached an agreement that will allow the superstar forward to become a player and assistant coach this winter. The captain's contract with United, which earned him a team record $3.5 million in base salary this season, was to have run through the 2021 season. United will not receive a transfer fee, multiple people said, on condition of anonymity, but will clear his hefty contract from its books starting next year. Rooney, who turns 34 in October, will remain with United for the final 9 regular season matches, and the playoffs should United advance. The names of 31 players selected for the second round of the FIFA World Cup qualifiers has been made public. Coach of the national football team, Johan Kalin, informed that 31 players were selected from the initial selection of 36 players. Among the 31 players selected are Bimal Khartimagar, Bimal Rana, Abhishek Rizal, Rohit Chand, Sunil Pal, Biras Maharjan and Kiran Chemchong. Likewise, Bikram Lama, Anjan Shrestha, Anjana Tamang, Sujal Shrestha, Nabayuk Shrestha and Rohit Chand have also been selected. The players that have been dropped from the initial selection are Kamal Shrestha, Nitin Thapa, Sesihang Angdambe, Amit Tamang and Mikchain Tamang. Apart from Kamal Shrestha, the other 5 players are practicing to play in the under-23 national team for the South Asian Games. Nepal is playing the second round FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Kuwait on 5th of September in Kuwait. Nepal is in Group B along with Kuwait, Australia, Chinese Taipei and Jordan. It's now time for our special segment, Laugh Out Loud.
Interestingly enough, in our Laugh Out Loud segment this week, we have 2 episodes concerning ICC, the first International Criminal Court and the second International Cricket Council. In the first case, the co-chairman of the ruling Nepal Communist Party, Pushpakamal Dahal, has recently remarked that if the insurgency-era cases were heard in the International Criminal Court in The Hague, Netherlands, he would emerge as a hero. Dahal's statement was to mean that he didn't fear being interrogated by the ICC in Hague. Dahal's statement, however, has not gone down well with his once ally in the armed insurgency and former Prime Minister Dr. Baburam Bhattarai. It is learned that Dr. Bhattarai has urged leader Dahal not to undermine ICC and take the issue lightly. Dahal, if we are to believe his words, is not afraid of the consequences provided that the conflict era cases were taken to the Hague. But is the scenario same about Dr. Bhattarai? Ramesh Silwal, the newly appointed member secretary at the National Sports Council, has a few old scores to settle with cricket in the country. The International Cricket Council had suspended Cricket Association of Nepal after the NSC had intervened with CAN's executive committee by appointing Silwal as the president of the CAN ad hoc committee in 2016. Ever since his appointment as the NSC member secretary, Silwal has been found to say a few things about Nepali cricket. Just a few days ago, Silwal, during a sports function, viewed that some elements which he described as virus were responsible in destroying cricket in the country. Silwal went on to say that the virus had defamed him in front of the World Cricket Governing Body, otherwise the CAN suspension would have been lifted by now. As far as Silwal is concerned, the search for the virus is on. This is Prarambha Dahal for Kantipur News Desk.
And that's all for this hour. Keep watching Kantipur Television SD for more news and entertainment. Have a good day.